let's continue with exploring how to use break keyword and then also using labels in the loop perspective. So let me clear this one here. Okay, so we want to look at first. Let me clear this one here. Okay, so we say we're gonna look at what the label label and break keyword. Okay, break keyword in our loop. Keyword in loop. Okay, good. So let's see how we actually implement this in a loop and how useful it is in our loop. So for example, if we have this for let me this for, and then we have a condition of initializer of int I is equal to 1, and then we say we also have a condition of I is less or equal to 10. Okay, no, let's say 3 or 4. Let's say 3 here, and then let me end this, and then we say I plus plus. Okay, so we say I plus plus. Good, this is the condition, and then we're gonna have a print statement. Okay, so for the print statement we have the four, no, let's do print here, print. Okay, and for the print we're gonna print I. Okay, all right, and let's see what happens on the screen when we do this print. So this is gonna display 1 to what? 1 to 3, because we have I is equal to 1 and I is less or equal to 3. So let's say we have 10 here. It's gonna print 1 up to 10 on the screen. Okay, so let's say, okay, 1 to 10. Let's say we want our program to actually stop executing when it gets to number 5. How can we do that even though we still want to keep this whole what condition in our program? To do that, we need to use the break keyword, but the break keyword needs to be inside an if, like this. The condition is when I, this is the inner loop, when I is equal to 5. Okay, when I is equal to 5, then this break should affect our code. That means it should stop. Pretty much simple, like this. So anytime it's run the condition up to 1 2 3 4 5, then it breaks the rest of the numbers. So if we want to break it at 4, we change it to 4, and then it only stops at 4. So this is a way of using the break in your code, even though you still want to keep this condition, because this is an inner loop, and then you can target this loop in a part of your code. So but maybe at the first execution you want to break it at a certain number. Okay, so that is one use case. And then let's look here. What if we have another inner loop here? Okay, so let me say I clear everything here, and then we have another inner loop that is 4. Then we have a condition here, and the condition, instead of using I here, let's use let's use let's use A here. Okay, so we say for A is equal to 1, and then we end this, and then we say A is less or equal to 10, less or equal to 10, equal to 10 here. Okay, I end this, and then let's do the incrementer a plus plus. Okay, good. So we have this condition here, and then we're gonna have the inner loop print statement. So we write a print what? Let's use print I. Okay, print I like this, and then we also going to print a as well. So we want to print both statement on the screen. So print I and then print a as well. Okay, so let me do this. This needs to be in brackets. Okay, so I have one here, I have another one here, then I end the statement like this. Okay, good. So let's see what happens when we execute this. Okay, boom. So we have a lot of what? Numbers displaying here, loop of numbers displaying here. So if you can see, we have the outer loop that is 1 plus plus up to 10. So repeating itself anyhow. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, all the way towards 10. And the inner loop is also printing its numbers. But I think this is very long. So let's reduce this. Should we reduce this? Let's reduce this to 5 so that, yes, okay, reduce to 5. Let's print and then let's see. Okay, so we have this generation of numbers. Good. So if we have this numbers being generated and we also want to break at a certain point, we can still use the if statement to do this. So after our for loop, but inside this print statement, we're gonna have the if for our break. So the condition will be if I is equal to 2 and a is equal to 2. Okay, so this we are checking that it should only break at the point of 2. After 2, it should not display any other what numbers. But let's see how it's gonna work, if it's gonna work or not. Let's see. Okay, so here we're gonna have the keyword break here, then I terminate this. Okay, perfect. So let's run it and let's see. So as we can see on our screen, we have this and then we have the 2 here. So after the 2 we should have a break somewhere. Okay, good. So I run. Okay, we had a 2 but what happened? After the 2 the next digit did not show, but it continued to show the other ones here, still here. That is not what we actually need, you know. That is why we will need the what? The label to come in here. Because here what it does is after the 2, it only ignores the next 2 numbers here and then continue to print the others. That is not what we want. We want to ignore everything after the 2. Since this is outer loop and this is inner loop, and this is actually applying to the only the inner loop. So how should we control all the loops here without affecting only the inner loop? That is when we use the label. Okay, so to use the label, it's pretty much simple. We need to simply add a name here just like a variable, but the label is a user defined, so anything you want to put there is okay. So let's say this is the label. Let's say label for outer, yes, like this, and then a semicolon here, then you give a space. So it's a label for outer, but I do it label outer, right? So for this, you can call this name here inside your code. So after the break, then you add this. Oh, sorry. After the break, let me copy this. Then we'll put in here what? Label out. Good. So I run the code. Then let's see what happens. Perfect. So now you see, now it's displaying only up to what? Up to the 2, and then ignoring all other what? Numbers beneath the 2. So this is how we implement the label and then the break statement in our loop. But so here you can also give a label to your what? Your inner one, to only call the inner when you have a lot of code. So any name, any user defined, so you can have probably a label and then you say inner, right? How you want to name it, that's all. Yeah, then you can use that here and somewhere inside the code. So this is using labels and then breaks in loops. So we're gonna continue with the other video, so make sure you subscribe and also turn on the notification bell, and then you receive our videos as and when we upload. Peace. I'm out.